This is Trivial Thursdays on WRFL. I'm your host, Mick Jeffries, and happy to be with you here. Again, thanks for tuning in. It's time for me to welcome our next guest, and I'm so excited to welcome Kentucky singer-songwriter S.G. Goodman. She was raised in Hickman, Kentucky, a small town along the Mississippi River in far western Kentucky, and she has become one of the most compelling voices in contemporary roots music with songs that draw on landscapes, faith traditions, complicated beauty of rural Kentucky life, and all that and more. Welcome to the show, S.G. Goodman. So nice to see you.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me. Hope you can. I'm coming at you live from a green room in Detroit, Michigan today, and somebody sounds like they're loading the ice machine out there.
I was going to say, well, for God's sakes, be careful.
Yeah, yeah.
So you may think you're here to talk about music, but I really want to talk to you about geography. Is that okay?
Oh, well, we'll try. We'll give it a try. I'm sleep deprived a little bit, but yeah, shoot, let's
I
go.
am. I'm a native Kentuckian. I'm from Owensboro,
All right. Yeah.
and so I'm a Western Kentuckian. Once I realized that I had mistakenly thought that you were from more the eastern side of the state, and when I realized you were from Hickman, Kentucky, that area is an area that I just have so many questions about.
All
You
right. Let's
couldn't be
go.
any more southwest in Kentucky,
No.
almost.
Mm-mm. No, exactly. Yeah, I am as far west as one could go, straight to the Mississippi River.
With one notable exception, and this is what I'm really hoping for your expertise on. I call it the niblet. I
The
don't
New
know what it's
Madrid
called.
band.
The extra
It's called
part of
the
Kentucky that you have to go into Tennessee to get to.
Yes, that is called the New Madrid Band, and my father is a farmer, and he actually farms some of the New Madrid Band, and it's a very cool, beautiful, weird place with lots of lore. Um, but yeah, that's what the little blurb out in the middle of the Mississippi is the New Madrid Bend, and a lot of people they may be more familiar with like the New Madrid Fault Line. Have you ever heard of that?
Oh yeah, that comes up a lot for Kentuckians.
Yes, and so we live right on it, or my family does. Have my whole life, and that notably, I think it was in the 1800s, it erupted and then caused the Mississippi River to run backwards for
Right.
3 days and formed, I think, the only natural lake in all of Tennessee, which
Okay.
is Reelfoot Lake.
Did you know that there are only two natural lakes in Kentucky?
Not surprised. I live on
Yeah.
an unnatural one. I live, currently in Murray, Kentucky, on in the land between the lakes.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's so it turns out that there's only there's two natural lakes in Kentucky. Neither of and they're not anyone you think they are. They're both these just super minor little lakes somewhere. Like you wouldn't I can't name one for you, but you wouldn't probably recognize the name if
Big
you
old
could anyway.
pond kind of thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so Kentucky geography is so I'm not really going to pursue this geography thing too much, but Kentucky's really interesting because when I saw that you were from Hickman, I was like, I recalled my seventh grade civics, and I was like, I think civics anyway, and I was like, I think that's the Jackson Purchase.
It is.
Do you-
Yep. Mm-hmm.
and for some reason, in all my years, can you name any of the other? And again, this isn't a trivia show, but can you name any? There's like five areas of Kentucky, and they all are radically different from one another.
Yeah, let's see. We have like the
Yep,
Pennyroyal region.
check. That's where
Uh,
the coal. That's where the caves are.
yeah, so that'd be like South Central, like
Yes,
Bowling Green and that kind of area.
and it's really sprawling. That one kind of sprawls out across that
Yeah.
midsection.
Man, I feel so embarrassed because, I was the president of my FFA chapter and this was on all our jackets, but, who remembers that kind of stuff?
I love those jackets. Can we just stop and
I
say how
know.
much I love those
I have
jackets?
I have my dad's old one. He was also the president. I come from a long lineage of FFA officers,
Nice.
and but yeah, his jacket. It's I mean, they kind of haven't changed, but his had a little bit more
Mhm.
70s collar on it. So good.
Okay.
But yes,
They're blue
I don't.
corduroy, those blue corduroy
Yeah,
jackets.
blue corduroy black pants. I actually can't think of the other region's names, but
That's
yes,
okay. I'll help.
Kentucky
Look,
is.
so
Go
there's the
ahead.
knobs. You can never forget the knobs, right?
Oh,
I
the
mean, that's
knob.
such a weird name.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
And then the Western Coalfields, which is kind
All
of
right.
Western Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
And of course,
Very
your
cool.
Jackson Purchase that you have
Mm-hmm.
there. And then I guess something called the Cumberland Plateau. And I guess that's over here on the eastern side of the state.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's the hills,
Yep.
Appalachian and whatnot. And your music certainly, I mean, touches on a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
And that may be why I was maybe confused in the first place about where you were from because your music is so um, can be connected to Eastern Kentucky in some ways. Um,
Well, I think, in the ways that, like, I have a song that is really about, I'm a sharecropper's daughter. I have a line in a song called The Way I Talk that says, sharecropper's daughter sings the blues of a coal miner's son. And I think it's more about connecting, you know, class war, um, socioeconomic issues across different storylines. They're similar, and just kind of focusing in on the similarities more than the differences there. So yeah, I could see that for sure.
Now, let's see. So, and again, so I've lived in Eastern Kentucky for a pretty long time in Lexington, and when I come home to Owensboro, there is a different Western Kentucky vibe in some kind of way that I've never been able to put my finger on beyond
Mhm.
beyond the dairy freeze cheeseburger, which is one of my favorite food options, and I'm always looking for new ones in Western Kentucky. I don't think you eat burgers though.
I don't. How did you know that?
I've just done a little bit of work,
Not a
I've been
I'm
lurking.
not a vegetarian. It's just, yeah, there's something. I was growing up in Western Kentucky, or in Fulton County. There were My mother was a big sports mom, and she'd sign us up for different sports that my county didn't have to offer. And one was a swim team in Martin, Tennessee. See, I was actually born in Obion County, Tennessee,
Right.
right, right across the line. And but anyway, do you remember McDonald's? I think it was 29-cent hamburgers and 39-cent cheeseburgers on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
I don't personally remember that, but I think I've heard tell of
Well,
it.
it was some sort of promotional thing they had going. Unfortunately, my whole swim team career, and mama would, there was like 8 kids in one van, and that was what we would have to eat. And I was forced to. I haven't been to a McDonald's in probably 15 years. You
And
know,
that's something you can maybe
so I don't
celebrate.
eat.
I don't
I don't eat.
know.
I don't. Yeah, I don't eat cheeseburgers or hamburgers. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, Kentucky
All
is
those
super.
dairy freeze places.
Yeah, Dairy Freeze and Dairy Queens. Murray supposedly has the best Dairy Queen in the entire country. Still uses the original recipe with a lot more butter content in its um, ice cream. But where
That
I
is
was
a
going,
trivia I did not know.
yep. Well, where I was going with that is I would say that my accent is actually more Western Tennessee.
Okay.
And I was raised right on the line, but there is a similarity in accents in the river counties on the Mississippi and on the tip of the Ohio or whatever. Because my friend Kelsey Walden and we have very similar dialect. Whereas you go further eastern, the colloquialisms and draw and different things, they change kind of dramatically. And then when you get up into Louisville, it's kind of more Newport, Cincinnati. You're kind of losing a little bit of. It's a very particular Northern Kentucky accent, but yeah, I think that's really interesting.
SG Goodman is here on Trivial Thursdays, and we are going to talk about music, by the way. Now, you mentioned your friend Kelsey, is that right?
Kelsey Walden. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you all recorded Hello Stranger together, is that right?
Yeah, she put out a really amazing album of covers, and I got to work with her on that song, and it was fun how well our voices fit together, mostly probably because we pronounce things similarly.
So I love that song. I mostly attribute it to Hazel and Alice. Is that where
Mm-hmm.
you attribute it to?
Yeah, yeah.
So I think you'll find that there's a couple things. So I listened to your version, and I hadn't listened to the song in a little while. And one of the things that has always struck me whenever I listen to it is like, what is this song about? And I started to wonder today if it is it about sex workers?
Which one? Hello
Hello,
Stranger.
stranger.
Oh, you
Hello,
know,
stranger. Put your loving hand in mine.
yeah, I mean, that's a good twist. I think that's a good. I mean, I think all music, is pretty subjective. You can kind of put whatever you want on it. I mean, yeah, that that I,
I
that
don't know.
I
It
think
would
that's a
that would
really
be
good. I think that's a good call. I mean, it really could be because the singer sees their baby in jail. It could
it's
be.
a I mean, it would have been if that's the case. And sometimes it's fun. Maybe you agree to not look things up on the internet. I could have looked this up and found it out, but sometimes I just don't want to. Not because I'm lazy, because I'd rather have a conversation about it.
Exactly. I mean, what I heard somebody say, I actually had a short conversation with Tyler Childers one day about our love for Roll On 18 Wheeler by
Hmm.
Alabama. And he brought up a good point. You know, why did Daddy leave the truck abandoned? And what was he getting out of it?
Right.
Why did he leave that jackknife rig abandoned? What was Daddy up to on the side?
Right.
You know what I mean? Why did he have to abandon the truck? I would have stayed in the truck.
No doubt.
Yeah, but
So you mentioned Alabama, who I saw, I think, 3 times. And when I was younger, my dad, that was something we could agree on. He could take the kids to Alabama. They were just rocking enough for
mm-hmm,
us and just country
mm-hmm.
enough for him. And I noticed, and I'm trying to remember what song it was, but there's a song of yours that towards the end starts to repeat the phrase "Song of the South," which I didn't know if that was from if you were sort of borrowing that from Alabama or not, because it's kind of the way they sing it too.
Oh yeah, not only am I borrowing it, I'm borrowing it enough where for that one line, I pay Alabama a royalty.
Oh, right. Yes.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
So
Hmm.
you're clear on that.
Yeah, I'm clear on that. And live, I even at the end say sweet potato pie and I shut my mouth. So, hmm.
My principal memory of seeing Alabama is at the end. An MC would come on the PA and say, "Alabama will stay and sign autographs for as long as anyone wants them to."
Well, germs didn't exist back then. So that's
You mentioned you mentioned Tyler Childers, and I'm curious, like, in the sort of there really is this Kentucky sort of milieu. Never mind, I'm not even going to use that word. Storyteller songwriters: Tyler Childers, Will Oldham, Sergil Simpson, Loretta Lynn, Dale Ann Bradley, Joan Shelley. To say nothing of Bill Monroe or Ricky Skaggs. And I'm curious if you feel like there's a distinctive Kentucky quality that you sort of are joining to Kentucky storytellers and the way they do it.
well. I think you just mentioned like a pretty diverse group of characters. Not even mentioning like the post punk like legacy Kentuckians have with like Slint or newcomers. I mean, he would probably say he's not a newcomer because he's not I've played with him for years, known him for years, but like Ryan Davis and the Roadhouse
Hmm.
bands put out some really good music. He used to be state champion. I think the maybe common thread there are My Morning Jacket, or rappers like now Jack Harlow. Um, Not really beholden to rules, but it's all good.
Yeah.
you know. I would say, yeah, I think that would be a pretty distinct characteristic of all the music that comes out of Kentucky. It's just quality, and I think being raised in rural places or in maybe limited places allows you to approach music with kind of reckless abandon, I guess. Hmm.
SG Goodman there. She's on Trivial Thursdays here with me, and happy to get to chat with you. I always I think about Will Oldham in particular, and Daniel Martin Moore,
Hmm.
and even Joan Shelley. A number of these people who are these are city people. They're from Louisville, but they have an incredible their embrace of sort of traditional rural music. I think is something to be almost awed by in some ways. I feel like they're almost creating their own sort of. Again, a lot of musicians don't like the term genre, but like there is this distinctive kind of music that I feel like they're making that maybe even gets kind of like gets the heave ho from some people that feel like it's too weird for them or something like that.
Hmm.
You have had a journey from being in kind of punk rock bands to this very evocative sort of super personal and haunting sometimes solo music. And did you lose any fans along the way? Was anybody like, why aren't you doing the punk rock anymore, SG? We like that.
Uh, I don't think I really had a lot of fans to lose, starting out. So I don't think anybody's, um, you know, really, and I wasn't. My friends played punk, and it was deeply influential on me, and really the first kind of scene that I hung out in and got exposed to a lot of different people. But yeah, so I don't. Yeah, like I said, I don't think I lost a lot of people. I probably lose more people now.
I have loved the evolution of your music, and have enjoyed just how just the changes in it. Basically, I kind of actually went backwards, starting
Mhm.
from. So I was kind of surprised when I got to. Oh, I can't remember. Well, there was the Savage Radley. That's something you were a part of, right?
Yeah, so that was a pseudonym I went under for years and years when I started writing more I would say, in a narrative kind of form. Mm-hmm.
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 Uh, let's see. So I can't. By the way, I want to back up and say that you mentioned Slint, and thank you very much for that.
Mm-hmm.
That's quite a Kentucky calling card too.
For sure.
Slint and all those of that whole scene in Louisville. Did you spend any time in Louisville, or have you?
Yeah, yeah, I have, and the great thing about going, I went to college at Murray State University, and we had a lot of bands come through, and so there was a really big pipeline between Louisville and Murray, and
Mm,
some of my earliest musical friends come from there. Like I mentioned, like Ryan Davis, who was state champion, Sal, who was their drummer, prints a lot of my merch now. There were acts like Wombo who are just killing it, and I think some of the most unique music coming out of Kentucky right now. So yeah, Louisville, it was a bit far for me. I was closer to Nashville,
hmm.
but I love Louisville. What a gem.
Yeah, it is. It's a wonderful place for sure. Sometimes I feel like it's a secret that we don't want to that we don't want to let out or something like
I
that.
know. Yeah,
Including their love of kind of folk music, the Louisville Folk School there, and
absolutely. Yeah.
and so forth and so on. Let's see. So SG Goodman is here, and we're not getting to talk nearly as much as I wanted, but but that's
Oh,
okay. I'm
it's
happy for
fine.
us to get to talk.
We'll keep going. Yeah.
We let's see. Let's see. You've got some gigs coming up, and we want to mention
Yeah.
that for sure, because you're playing here in Lexington on May 15th
Yes.
at the Burl, which I think you'll enjoy.
I love the Burl. It's one of my
Yeah,
favorite venues.
and now are you doing that solo, or are you doing that with a band, or?
Nope, that's gonna be full band, and we got a really big night prepared for everybody. Got some special stuff in the works. We have Andy Tillman, who a lot of people know is an amazing comedian, writer, actress. She's going to be one of the openers. I'm so excited to have a comedian starting off the show. I feel like more music shows should have different type of, mediums coming out and entertaining people. I mean, that's what we are. We're entertainers, right? We have some other special guests that haven't been announced yet. Maybe some secret things up our sleeve, but that's going to be a very, very good night of music
Yeah,
and having
that's May
fun.
15th at the Burl.
Mm-hmm.
And then you are in it before that. Actually, in a couple days, actually, you're at the Big Ears Festival. How did that happen? How did you come to be acquainted with the Big Ears Festival in Knoxville?
Well, it's a pretty legendary festival, and yeah, that's gonna be. I might show up. I'm hoping to show up both spiritually and physically for that. We will be leaving a tour the night before, all the way out in Arkansas, and have quite a long drive to Knoxville. But I'm excited. I'm a little bit disappointed that scheduling amounted to the fact I'm rolling in on Sunday, the day I play, and don't get to
Hmm.
enjoy the whole festival. But I'm very, very excited to get to take part. I know some of my favorite musicians ever have played there. It's got an amazing lineup this year. But yeah, we're excited to kill ourselves to get there.
Oh, and you're playing at a place called Jackson Terminal, which is there's a lot of traffic flow in there. And the other good thing about, as far as I can understand, your wishing that you could get there earlier. But one of the funny things that I always love about Big Ears is that they go hard on Sunday. On Sunday they go hard. It goes until like 10 p.m. on Sunday. It's none of this "we're done at noon" stuff that you get
Yeah,
from
yeah,
some things. So that's
yeah.
pretty neat. So you get to get some time in, hopefully.
Yes, if I am well enough and rested enough, I will. I'm excited about it.
It's yeah, you've spent a lot of time on the road, which is something that's kind of glorified, but also just brutal on people, I would imagine. Do you enjoy being on the road?
Sometimes.
Yeah,
No,
fair
I
enough.
do. I love my job. I'm drinking an Alka-Seltzer right now. And I have, I think, like at least 2.5 more weeks to go before I'm out with the singer-songwriter Jesse Wells. And it's been an
Yes.
amazing tour. We just played Massey Hall, which is kind of like the Canadian Ryman, in
Yeah.
Toronto 2 nights ago. And today we're in Detroit, and it's been an amazing time out on the road. But yes, it is a very glorified thing, especially when you're in a van chasing a bus, or just not in a bus. But I have the best band ever. I love them. I have an amazing tour manager, and I'm being a very, very good girl and taking care of myself. And so, yeah, I'm
It's
living the
important.
life. I've asked for my plate to be this full.
And you're
I
keeping that
am.
plate.
I
Yeah.
am.
So you have a song called Supertramp, and I wondered like how you came across the term Supertramp. I mean, obviously we all know the band called that. It's still such a funny word, and I was happy to see it again. And I
Yeah.
wonder if you're a super tramp traveling around as much as you do.
Well, I think that comes from I wrote that song so many years ago when I was like a freshman in college and I was into the beats and was reading Jack Kerouac and he has a character, Supertramp.
Hmm. That's right.
And
That's right.
I that's where that comes from. I feel a little a little embarrassed about that because I feel like that was a very freshman in college thing for me to do. But I like the song. It still, resonates, and most people don't know where that phrase comes from, and I'm okay with that.
I just like those. I like those two words together. Super and tramp make a really great word together.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
And
Well,
between you and the band Supertramp, pretty good music too.
hey, I was raised on Supertramp. My dad loved them, so I think it's no bad. Yeah, great word.
So did you know? I don't know if you know any of the history of them. Obviously, we don't need to get into it too much, but I guess the two main guys never ever got along, like from the
Mm-hmm.
very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, that was the demise of the band. Was that? But it wasn't like they developed artistic differences along the way. They never got along. Is
Yeah,
something I read.
I don't know too much of their history, but I could see just how that could happen. And it just goes to show you can make a lot of beauty even if you don't really like each other.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you make a lot of beauty in terms of songs out of conditions that are not ideal.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's, maybe in a way an easier way to talk about them,
Hmm.
a way that people can palate a little bit more. So, yeah.
Things like opioid addiction, a
Mm-hmm.
queer lifestyle, and and so forth. And I wonder, are there any topics that come along where you have to sort of like gather the courage up to write a song about it?
Um, I think there are a lot more songs I have that I had a writing teacher once who said a good story is worth 1,000 dead grandmothers. I don't know where that quote comes from, but I think there's a lot of material that I have that, you know, it might just be. I do take the idea of being respectful of your characters as much as you can be. Um, but I think that if a song or an idea sticks around, I'll write it. What do you have to lose? You only live one time.
Yeah.
So,
I was just wondering because sometimes I feel like songwriting sometimes has to be kind of a courageous act, really, where some of the best songs that ever come along are about things that are deeply personal. And I feel like I've read some writers' accounts of, essentially like, God, should I even put this out there? I don't want people to know this.
hmm
Have you, you don't tend to wrestle with those kinds of feelings?
I think just being an artist in 2026, there's so many different points of vulnerability with having to not only write songs that are personal, but also kind of whore yourself out vulnerably and say, like, press. There's a real big trauma porn initiative in a lot of press outlets, I think, for clicks. There's social media where, people want you to be your authentic self as much as you can. I think there's just a lot of forms of what is vulnerable that I don't know. Maybe at this point I'm just kind of like, who cares? I'll show up on my Instagram with no makeup on, or I'll, not. I think one way I do it, I just don't listen to it. Like, I'll do a podcast or something, and the best way to keep me from feeling second guessing myself is just put it out there, and people are going to make what they want of it.
Yeah. Do you have, do you pay attention to social media or anything like that?
Somewhat, but I got this watch recently,
Okay.
and at Walmart, and so I don't look at my phone for the time anymore. So I spend a lot less time on social media. I think I recently started a Substack. I guess I'm on my second year now, I think, and I have really had a hard time interacting on it. I write a lot of longhand, and I guess I've just been waiting for the world to get a little better where it doesn't feel so weird about putting my thoughts out there. But you know what? It's just not going to right now.
Hmm.
So I guess I'm going to start writing on that again. Kind of weird when people are dying and now we're in war and all this stuff. But I don't, it's not looking like it's going to go up anytime soon. So maybe I should, just start going back to community and
It's a,
and forget about the idea of when I'm going to be telling the internet that I've written something that they can read or not, because who cares um, at the end of
right.
the day. I mean, I would like to care. I would like to be respectful of current states of the world, but it doesn't really seem like I'm going to be able to navigate that in a respectful way too
Hmm.
much. Does that make sense?
I think so. I think that I have a similar feeling, which is like, sometimes it feels like we're on the verge of World War III, and I'm like, hey, here's this cat video.
Yeah, yeah.
Please watch
Kind of
my
like
cat video.
kind of like that, or it's like, hey, gas prices are going up and everybody's under economic strain. Um, Buy my tickets, which
Yeah,
I will say
right.
my tickets for the money. They're not the super expensive. You're getting the bang for your buck. All right, that's an economic show.
There you go. With multiple opening acts at the Burl, from what I hear.
Absolutely. Yep. Exactly.
So we mentioned the Burl, we mentioned Big Ears, and then also I wanted to make a note of the fact that you're playing at Levon Helm Studio in September.
Hmm.
The legendary member of the band,
Who
and
I absolutely adore and love. Um, yes, this will be my second time getting to grace the property, and it's just a fun time. It's a very small, intimate space. Obviously, a lot of history. I know my bass player was saying that he was gonna play Danko's bass this time, but the
oh
drummer.
wow,
It's I think it's most special for the drummer because he gets to play on one of Levon's last kits if he
wow.
chooses. Yeah.
My wife went to something at Big Pink one time, which was his house where they used to have concerts,
Mm-hmm.
and she saw Nick Lowe there, and
Wow.
but one of the most interesting things was she said it was very much that at that time it was really a family affair, and it was also a potluck, and a lot of people showed up with dishes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Mm-hmm.
think his studios are probably more of like a seating area. Is there's
Not
like an
really. I
auditorium?
mean,
No.
there's a we got great folks there feeding us. It feels very similar to what you described. Actually, it's really cool.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, I know that people in Lexington are excited for your return, and I think Big Ears is really going to be
I
something
can't wait
for
to
you.
see that. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm sure we're forgetting lots of stuff, SG, but I feel like I'll let you get back to it, and I just want to thank you for being on the show and talking about.
Well, I appreciate you having me, and I hope some people learned a little something about the great landscape that is Kentucky. And I hope everybody, yeah, I hope to see everybody at the Burl. I've got a really special show planned, and it's gonna be a barn burner.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Um, I'm gonna let you go, and I'm gonna send us out. Can I play? I'm gonna play something off "Planting by the Signs." That's your new record.
All right,
I was gonna play "Nature's Child." Is that okay?
that sounds great. Yep, I love it.
Is there anything you'd like to say about "Nature's Child" before I play it?
Nature's Child. I was joined with another Kentucky legend, Bonnie Prince Billy, Mr. Will Otis.
Yeah.
So, yeah, play on. But thank you so
Well,
much. Hmm.
well, about Bonnie Prince Billy, who's been on my show before, and I always wonder, like, whenever I'm around him, his capacity to remember songs seems just it's it's unreal. It's unreal, his ability to remember songs. I even see other musicians that are with him kind of laughing and shaking their heads when Will is all of a sudden like, let's just do this. You just want to do this, you know? And I wondered what it was, if you got any sense of that from him. His vocabulary seems so huge in terms of songs and styles of music and stuff.
Yes, it's definitely a gift that some are given and some are not, and I would be one of those people. I've been singing "Knock Knock Knocking on Heaven's Door" with Jesse some nights,
Okay.
and my first time doing that at the Ryman, I either said "Mama put my boots in the ground" or "Mama put my boobs in the ground." I don't know which one. So that's my capacity for remembering other people's songs. So,
Right.
yeah, I mean, all hail to those Rolodexes out there. Um,
And how? So is this a song? Did you all co-write this song, or is Bonnie Prince Billy performing on your song?
he's actually performing on a friend of mine's song. So
Oh,
this
okay.
song was written by a good friend of mine, Tyler Ladd. I've played it for many, many years and thought it really should go on Planning by the Signs. And, I'm a fan of music too and good writing, and I absolutely adore that song. So both Will and I are covering a good friend of mine's song. Hmm.
There you have it. SG Goodman, thank you so much for being on the
Thank
show.
you.
It was wonderful to get to visit with you just a little bit.
Absolutely.
And look forward maybe to some other time. But best
I
wishes
love
to
it.
you and all
Yep.
that you do.
Well, thank you for having me, and yep, I hope to see everybody at the Burl.
Yes. So let's see. We'll leave you with this is Nature's Child. This is SG Goodman, who is playing at the Burl on where did I have that somewhere? But I've lost it now. Oh, there it is. May 15th. May 15th at the Burl.
Yes, May
And
15th. Grab your
so
ticket.
I'm going to say so long to the Trivial Thursdays audience. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks to John Winters of Prohibition for being on the show, as well as Rachel Hooper of the UK Art Museum, and SG Goodman. Again, thanks to SG
Thank
Goodman.
you.
You bet. And this is Nature's Child from SG Goodman's most recent record, Planting by the Signs. Take care. This has been Trivial Thursdays on WRFL.
Birth me out into the wild. I'm your sweet mama, nature's child. Let's tread these fields of danger, let's go. Ah, 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 oh, oh. See these junkyards where the dogs bark. My love's a knife that cuts the dark. Swallow death down, hold no straw. So when you give it to me raw and whole. Oh, yippee, you, that mountain air. Oh, yippee, ooh, that mountain air.
Come as you are unto me, bearing all disease and injury, feeling bodies transpire, burn me alive in your lake of fire.
Oh, yippee, you, that mountain air. Oh, yippee, ooh, that mountain air.
your name in sweet surrender. Oh, marry me in inclement weather. You are my lady, and I'm a king of a junkyard, baby.